Now, my guess, and I have to admit this, you know, because we all come with our own biases, but my guess is it's not going to matter at all. I am out here this morning in very cold weather, 14 degrees according to my car. I have the Panasonic Lumix S5IIX and the Fujifilm X-T5. This is a crop sensor. This is a full frame sensor. This is a 35mm 1.8, and this is a 23mm 1.4 on my crop sensor, which is equivalent to the 35. And then I also have an 85mm lens for this, and I have a 56mm lens for this, and those are close. I'm gonna shoot this scene over here, which is really beautiful, and I'm afraid I'm losing the light, so I need to get to this really quickly. Starting with the Panasonic Lumix S5IIX. This is, again, 35mm, so f4, ISO 200, shutter speed 250, 35mm. I am center weighted. I'm gonna put it on 2-second timer. Now I'll do the Fujifilm, and for the crop factor, I'm going to put it at 2.8, and I'm also going to do a 2-second timer. So I'm going to do f2 on this one, and I'm aiming on that little island there, and yeah. And then I will put my Fujifilm at 1.4. Whoa, that was almost a disaster. Okay, I'm trying to get some of this foreground. I want to get a little bit more of the upper rock, so I'm gonna get like that, I think. Really cool shadows. Okay, same scene, right on that rock. I think that was a successful test. One of my favorite spots to come to for photography. I'm really glad I found it. I'm gonna finish up, and then I'll go back to my office and I'll look at all these together with you. I don't think it's gonna matter, but we'll see. We'll see when I get back to the office. So let's go back there.
I am back in the office, and I have gone through a couple of these photos, mostly to color correct so they're closer in color, because I don't want that to be a distraction. So I'm looking at the very first image, and I went through and I gave stars to each one so I would know, which one I'm looking at. So I gave a 4-star to the Lumix full frame, and I gave 3 stars to the Fujifilm X-T5. These are not representative of what I feel about them. I just wanted to make sure I knew which one I was looking at when I was looking at these in full screen. I think when I look at this photo, I definitely can see more detail in the rocks over here when I'm looking at this in the full frame than the 40 megapixel APS-C. I look at both of these images and I see pretty high quality images across both. I mean, you can see detail in this little ice structure over here. Let me go in even further. I can see a difference for sure. I think it really depends on where I had my focus. There's some difference there. I can see some difference. I'm not trying to I'm not trying to fit my narrative. I believe that it really doesn't matter. I believe that a camera is a camera, but I can see, I think, some more detail in the full frame on this version. All right, so we'll go to the next one. So this one I think is opposite. Yep, that's the full frame. Oops. And this is the crop sensor. I'm going to highlight this area back here. There's definitely more detail in the full frame than the 40 megapixel APS-C. You can see the snow, the glitter in the snow a little better. Yeah, I'm noticing a difference. I mean, I'm doing this in real time with you. All I've done so far is color correct. I haven't actually zoomed in on any of these. I wanted my very real impression to come through. And my very real impression is I feel like I see more detail in the full frame. Yeah, I mean, I'm looking at it right now, and I would say there's definitely more detail. I'm just going to zoom in on this part again. This looks really mudded up over here, and this has some clarity. I mean, obviously it's in the dark and everything. It's not the focus. Let's go to the next one. So far, 2 for 2. I would say I prefer the full frame to the crop sensor. That is the full frame. This is the crop. Let's go to fit. All right. I feel like the snow and everything is showing up similarly, although I think I got to be honest here. I'm seeing more detail in the snow. Here, let's take a look. Yeah, geez. Whew. I mean, I'm not at all trying to make Fujifilm look better. I'm looking at what I'm looking at. And yeah, there's definitely more detail going on over here. I'm surprised. I am. You can kind of see more teeth back here in the ice than over here. I mean, you can see them, they exist, but they're more mushed. Where these are more jagged, you can see them more clearly. Okay, let's go to this rock formation. This is Fujifilm. I'll put the Panasonic on the left and the Fujifilm on the right again. If you were sharing it like this, there's not a whole lot of difference. We're gonna go into here. Good splashes. Snow looks good in both. The rocks at the back. A lot of detail in the rock. What about this wood up here? Let me zoom in to 200. Yeah, this one is more even Steven. I'm not seeing a whole lot of difference between these two photographs. Yeah, this is probably more of what I was expecting. I don't see a single part of this photo where one appears better than the other to me. But this one is more of what I was expecting. They look practically identical to me. So let's go to the next one. All right, now I wanted to try to do some separation. This was the whole goal of this one. And unfortunately, the Fujifilm on the right has that big halo there. That's actually a known thing to me. It really does need a lens hood if you're shooting into the sun, because look at that opening. Look at the opening of that glass. It's wonderful though. I actually use this for artistic effect all the time. I love catching light in here and taking photos of people, like getting off a train or something, but I knew about it and I didn't bring the lens hood. So that's on me. That little red halo there is my fault, but this is the 85mm. It also does not have a hood on it. It does not have the same problem. Okay, so let's look at some separation other than that, that red thing on the side there. Really bad chromatic aberration again. Actually, they're both kind of suffering from this part here, but I'm shooting right into the sun, so I'm being pretty forgiving. A lot of detail, but I gotta be honest. I mean, this is the Lumix, the one with the 4 stars. The Fuji has the 3 stars, and I can click on it, and you can see RW2, Panasonic Lumix, all of that. There's more detail on that branch. There just is. And then this last one that I did, this was strictly handheld. I took a shot with my Fuji as I was putting it away, and I decided, heck, why not just do it with the Panasonic as well? So that's what I have here, and I will put the Fuji on the right and the Panasonic on the left. And they're not exactly the same because I was completely handheld. I was completely just eyeing it. I wasn't comparing side by side or anything like that. So they're different images, but they're of the same subject matter, which is these little ice crystals in here. And yeah, I think they both are looking pretty good there. Let me see if I can zoom in to 100. Yeah, they both look pretty good. There's a lot of detail in the ice. Well, a little bit of a surprise to me. I'll be honest, a little bit of a surprise. I can see a little bit of a difference in favor of the full frame. All of these are in mostly different light. The only one that really looks the same to me is this photo here. And I'm not sure what it is about the light, why it looks so similar. But this one, like I said, is the one that I expected to see the most. Unfortunately, it's just not how it's turning out. I'm absolutely seeing more detail in the Lumix. You know, when I zoom this in to 100, this is at 100%. So this isn't really zoomed in. I'm not cropping in. It's just what it is at 100. And yeah, there's more detail. I don't know. You know what? This channel is about growth, and it's about me discovering these things with you. And I definitely had an idea in my head that it does not matter. I'm surprised. So this is me being completely honest. I mean, you're watching this with me. Yeah, that's very interesting. So, okay. I guess that's it. That's all I wanted to show you. I wanted to see if we could see the difference. I can see a difference. There's definitely no hiding from that. If you like this, please remember to give it a thumbs up. You know, if you really liked it, please subscribe. It always helps me keep going. And as always, I thank you so much for watching, and I hope to see you in the next one. Thank you. Bye.
I know we all make fun of gear acquisition syndrome and buying new gear, but I got this Panasonic Lumix specifically for video, and it's great for that. But now that I have it and I have a full frame sensor, I find that I want to be out here shooting, you know, so it does make me want to pick it up and use it because it's new and it's a totally different system and I'm learning it. And so that part, I have to admit, is fun.